Let's compare stocks, a fixed index annuity, or a 20-year Treasury bond for the last 20 years. Let's run these numbers here. Lots of number crunching, as you can see by my colorful schematic there behind me. We're going to crunch these here because I'm very interested in some of the purveyors of these indexed annuities, in some capacity that also flow for indexed universal life insurance as well. And let's challenge that. And I think this is going to be kind of exciting. So don't forget to subscribe down below at the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. And as always, you like what you see, thumbs up, comments. If you want to donate, put a PayPal thing up there in the show notes. You can donate as well if you get any value out of this. But just reading some various websites about the purveyors of indexed annuities, let me just give you some background. So if you're a FINRA licensed investment rep, a Series 7, a Series 6, I guess a Series 65, I'm not exactly sure there. But if you're a Series 7 and you're affiliated with FINRA is a financial investment industry, I don't even know what, financial, I don't know. But FINRA is kind of like the police that make sure that licensed investment reps don't act stupid. It's way over the top. In fact, if you say it's cloudy tomorrow, they'll say, oh, you can't say that. So compliance, there's a huge compliance, a burgeoning, if that's the right word, compliance component to investment advisors, which is why I don't see any on YouTube, because they just can't. It's just, don't even get me started. But anyway, so if you're an investment rep, you just can't say what this stuff. And so a lot of investment reps, they don't affiliate with FINRA anymore. They become registered investment advisors, which is a Series 65. And I don't know how that solely fits into their regulatory environment. I don't know. But again, you're not going to see any investment rep out there saying this will outperform, that will outperform. I don't know how the guys from Motley Fool and stuff, I don't know how that works. But you won't see an investment rep who has a Series 6, 63, 65, I guess, or a 6 say this is blah, blah, blah. They're just not going to see it happening because they'll get compliant, will ding them. On the insurance side, it's just a whole lot different. This is what's odd. And I don't have a problem with it because I like less regulation, frankly. But on the insurance side, each state regulates what their insurance agents can say. And so there are some regulatory issues there, but some states are more lenient than others. New York, as I said before, is very strict. Other states are very lenient. So insurance guys, they get a whole lot more wide berth on how to say stuff, which is why you see a whole lot more of them on YouTube, just because they can. The problem is that with insurance and investments being commingled, what happened in the 80s when they started having universal life insurance that were matched to investment products, the insurance industry went from just pure plain guarantees on whole life, where you could simply say, we guarantee this. This we guarantee. If you do your part, Mr. Customer, you know for a fact you will have this after a certain amount of time. That was no problem. But then they started commingling, and so now you got a lot of insurance guys who are regulated as if they're still insurance guys, but talking of products that are essentially investment products, even though they're not licensed per se, because these investment products are structured or they're not securities. The whole thing is just convoluted. It's weird, actually. So a lot of the insurance agents can say stuff that a lot of the investment guys can't. And so because of that, there's a wide berth and some latitude on what they say, which they shouldn't be saying. Like I was telling an example on the Advisor Perspective article, they had insurance guys saying X will definitely outperform Y over the next 10 years. And no investment guy would ever get away with saying that, and they shouldn't, because we don't know. And I held this guy, I said, you can't say that. X will definitely outperform Y. It just can't. You can't say, you don't know. And then he even insinuated, but he said, and probably X will outperform Z over the next 10 years. And again, you can't say that. But be it as it may, insurance guys have a whole wide berth where investment guys don't, which is why just a dearth of good investment strategies on YouTube, because investment guys, they just can't, which again boggles the flipping mind. We're not helping the general population by making people silent. You compliance officers out there, pull your head out of your butt and stand firm and say, look, is this truly an endorsement of an investment? If it is, please that crap up. I got no problem with that. If it's not, then allow it to go through. If it's just a strategy on Roth IRA conversions, that is not an investment endorsement. All right, wait. So what we're going to do here today, Sorry for that long-winded intro, but it's important to understand where we're coming from. What we're going to do today is we're going to compare the S&P 500 with dividends reinvested, to a Pac Life index annuity that I just pulled off of MediaAnnuities.com. I forgot what the website was, but a Pac Life, let me move that, Pac Life indexed annuity, and I'll dive into that a little bit deeper in a different episode here just to give you what actually happens here. And I'm giving you what it says, but I'll dive into a little bit more specifics later here. Versus a 20-year Treasury bond. All right, so we have guarantees. We have guarantees by an insurance company, and we have no guarantees. All right, so in of itself, we know the S&P 500 should outperform over 20 years just because it's stocks. And like, for heaven's sake, this isn't rocket science here. We know that should happen. Where the index annuities come in, they say, we'll give you some of the market upside with no risk to your loss other than the ability of the insurance company to stay in business. And we know for a fact the 20-year Treasury bond is a risk-free investment because it's guaranteed by the federal government. It's not guaranteed by FDIC. It's not guaranteed by SIPC. It's guaranteed by the feds. They are obligated to pay it back. There's no less risk of the federal, or more risk, or less risk. There's risk-free investments are federal government bonds, which is what this is. So we're comparing the three. And the synopsis is here, when it comes to these fixed index annuities, we'll give you the upside of the market with downside risk protection. That's ultimately what it comes to be. I mean, literally, the sales literature is market-like performance with downside risk protection. Now, to throw something else on there, it's called income benefits, and I'm going to use that on a whole different episode, income benefits. I'm not part of that here today. They'll throw that out there in the sales brochures. Oh, we also guarantee a certain amount of income, blah, 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 blah. All right, well, we're going to talk about that later, so I'm going to hit at least 2 different episodes here. But, all right, so S&P 500, dividends reinvested, index annuity, and then 20-year Treasury bond. The index annuity from Pacific Life gives you a 5% cap, all right? So that simply means you get dollar for dollar of the market upside up to a 5% cap. That's what that means. I mean, there's no getting around that. You get 0 losses when the market goes down. So you get a 5% as your highest and a 0% is your lowest. So you know for a fact that's what you're going to get. So when we compare the 3, we see the S&P 500 did well in these 2 years and you only got 5. All right, now this will be compounded, and I want to dive into here in just a second. We see the red. The S&P 500 did poorly in this year's, and the index annuity did fine. I mean, the index annuity, you lost no money. So in this case, you sacrificed 23, you sacrificed 16% because you only got 5 and 5, but you also didn't get hit with these numbers here. All right, and that's where the cap is. The caps that they have. They say, look, we'll give you some of the upside, but they never say some. They always say market-like performance is what they always say. And it's just, what does that mean? Well, it's completely semantics. It's subjective. All right, so now 2003, 5.5. So you can see, that should be 4.79, excuse me. But you can see market's up 28, market's up 10, market's up 4.79, 15.5. So you got 5.5 should be 4.79, 5.5. So at the end of the day, you missed this right here, and then you got these over here we also missed. So you're missing down, but you're also missing a lot of the up. All right, now here's a 20-year Treasury bond. In 1998, January 1st, 1998, the 20-year was yielding 5.88%. So 5.88% on a 20-year Treasury. So what this means is this is the interest that you got on a $100,000 investment. So we're always going to use $100,000, and we'll run these numbers in a second episode to show you what happens here. Now you're not reinvesting interest in the 20-year Treasury. You're not. Interest is paying to you. I can't remember if it's month. It's not monthly. Buying, I can't remember. But anyway, once a year or twice a year, you get $58.80. That's $5,880 of interest each and every year. So it's not compounding. All right, you just got to keep that in mind. It's not compounding interest. It is literally interest that you pocket in your money. You say, okay, thank you, and then the next year you get another $5,800. The next year you get another $1,500. It's not compounding. These are compounding, this is not. And so we're just going to do a quick addition to see what one looks better at the end of the day. But you know for a fact, when the market's up 28%, you're only getting $5,800. When the market's down 22%, you're still getting $5,800. That's how a 20-year Treasury bond works. So we're going to compound all these guys here, and then we're just going to add up how much of principal or interest we've made over 20 years, and that would be pretty easy to find out. 2008, the market was down 37%, you're down nothing. And then you can see here as well, 1.3, and again, I did that here. So it'd be 2.07 there, because the market gives you the upside of the market at 2.07. I put 5, I got to change that. 1.31, you'll get 1.31. But if you notice, and this goes back to the Vanguard study I talk about all the time, where they say, when will we get back to average returns? Well, if the average return is 10, notice, no 10, no 10, no 10, no 10, no 10, no 10, no, there's 1, no 10, 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 and close, and that's it. So for 20 years, we've had basically 1 year of 10 and 1 year close. Anything, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. So we've had, in 20 years, we've had 1 year of average returns and 1 year close to average. And close to average here is still 20% above. And so that's the whole issue when people say, hey, I want to get average like market, average like returns. Well, I'm telling you, man, if you're capping your upside, this is the problem with these annuities. If you're capping the upside to avoid the downside, and the upside happens more often than the down, which historically has happened, and the upside doesn't just happen 10% on the upside happens 28, 15, 14, much more on the upside. And that's the issue. When you're capping that, you're missing out on significant upside. Yes, you are missing out on significant down as well, but because you're missing out on the significant upside, I'm telling you, I haven't run the numbers yet. Well, I'll do it next time, and I'll show you what the net result is. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not. And the answer in this scenario is that if you're capping out on significant upside, now this product wasn't available in 1998, so I don't know what they would have given us as a cap. Maybe they would have capped it more. I don't know. I had no idea. But using the cap today compared to a 20-year Treasury bond, in fact, I might even say let's compare it to a 20-year Treasury bond that's paying today. That might be a better scenario, because then you say, oh, you're cherry picking. I'm literally not cherry picking, because this was not out there at that point, at least I'm aware of. So theoretically, you could say you're cherry picking because they would have had a higher cap rate. I frankly doubt that, but let's just use that. So maybe what I'll do instead, next time I'll say, all right, let's do a 20-year Treasury bond today. Let's say it's paying 3%, and they got a cap here at 5, which would do better. And we'll see. So maybe I'll do that one as well. But at the end of the day, when you're capping it at 5, and you're saying I want to get, the market averages, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is, and you're saying I'll get half or a 3/4 of the average. Well, you're not getting a 3/4 of the average, because the average is significantly higher on any year, and that's where the compounding comes in. And if you're capping that, you're just slicing off. I mean, I'm 5'9", so you're probably saying I'm going to slice off from my big old head to my knees, and that's what I'm left with. All right, I mean, I'm left with a third of the rest of the market. My contention is, if you're going to do that, just buy Treasury bonds. Nothing wrong with that. Just buy Treasury bonds. But we'll see. So hang in there. I'll run these numbers here in just a second, show you what the end result looks like. And I just don't think it's going to be pretty. I think the Treasury bond will outperform. I think the market certainly outperform. And I think the index annuity will underperform big time. And we'll talk about the income later on that you can get from it. And that's with dividends reinvested, by the way. And so when I was showing you yesterday about the buffered ETFs, the principal protected stuff, the index life insurance index annuities, is all point to point or price to price, which is dividends are excluded. So you're investing $100,000. Who do you think is keeping those dividends? Well, it's the insurance company for sure, and dividends are a big deal. All right, so stay tuned. We'll do this part 2, part 3, even as we go forward. This is a little bit analysis on safe versus risky versus what? And that's where the index annuity comes in. What is it? Is it safe? Is it risky? Is it worth a lot or worth less? We shall see. Stay tuned. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you.